Good morning, everybody. I am Raju Upadhyay from CIMAGE College, Patna, Department of IT. Today, I'll be starting with the new series of JDBC. That means we are going to have a series which is enable us to establish the communication between Java application with any kind of database. So first of all, we will understand what is JDBC. JDBC stands for Java Database Connectivity. This is an API that execute any kind of SQL statement of any database, right? It consists of a set of classes and interfaces written in the Java programming language. That means this API is a set of classes and interfaces which are available as a part of Java application. So in order to make use of this set of classes and a set of interfaces, we need to import certain package. Namely, this is called java.sql package or maybe java.x.sql package, right? The interface is very easy to connect to any database using JDBC. That means if your application wants to communicate with the database, you should be having, within the application, you have to embed the concept of JDBC API. The combination of JDBC and Java makes the process of sharing the information very easy and economical to anyone, right? So here we are going to talk about what basically the JDBC is and how this is going to be helpful for the programmer, right? So we are going to understand first the various kind of layers which are available inside the JDBC architecture. Now, in order to understand it well, we need to understand first the scenario. So I'll be taking one scenario to everyone. Just a minute. So I'm going to have a scenario out here. So consider a scenario where you have to develop an application for an airlines company. It can be any kind of company that maintains a record of daily transactions. Obviously, in the airlines, there are various kind of transactions. Mainly, they are dealing with the passengers. So passengers are registering. Passengers are booking the seat with the airlines. They are modifying the seat. They are canceling the seat. So apart from that, there are so many operations which are happening as a part of airlines, right? So we need to, and if any airlines company has asked you to develop the application for such kind of things. So since you are a knowledgeable person for how to create a database, how to design the database, as we feel that everything are related to data only, and if we feel that that we are going to install the database with the system, and this is going to perform the job. So if understand that you install the SQL server as an RDBMS into the airlines company server, and you have designed the airlines database. You have, as a part of that, you have created so many tables, you have established the relationship, all the tables, and once it is in place, then you ask the airline personnel to use it. Now just visualize, will the database alone be of any use to any airline personnel? So obviously we are technical person, so we can easily understand, we can easily operate database if we have directly. But this is very, very difficult for the airlines personnel to handle such kind of databases in their flow, right? So obviously our answer is going to be the big no. So the task of updating data, obviously if the transactions are happening, so many data we are gathering. So the task of updating the data into the SQL Server database by using the SQL statement alone will be a very, very tedious task for us. Because in order to perform every task, we need to write a commands. And it's very difficult for the novice kind of person, the simple user. They cannot understand the commands, they cannot memorize the command, they cannot control database directly. That is why we require an application will need to be developed that is very user friendly, and provides the option to retrieve the data whenever it is required. If the new data is coming in, we have to add the data. If the data modification is required, so we can modify the data at the touch of a key to a user or a client. Right. So this has to be implemented. That is why we are going to have a Java application as a front end. We can have database as a backend. And in order to establish the communication between the database and Java application, we require certain layers, and that is called JDBC API layer. Right. So obviously, in order to facilitate these kind of facilities, we need to develop an application that communicate with the database to perform certain tasks. Obviously, the task which I already discussed, we can store and update the data into a database, retrieve the data stored in the database and present it to the user in a user-friendly format. Right. So the screen which I have shared to you, this screen is very, very relevant or user-friendly. So here you can notice on this particular screen, right, you can notice out here, we are having in the left side, we are having a Java application for airlines company. In the right hand side, extremely right hand side, we are having database within the that is airlines database, and within that we are having set of tables. So in order to establish the communication between them, we need to have the JDBC API, and that JDBC API consists of set of classes, set of interfaces, which are going to help Java application to communicate properly with the database in order to exchange the data, right? So that's all. That's all for the introduction of JDBC, and I'll be coming up with the new video where we are going to talk about the various kind of layers of JDBC. Like in that video, I'm going to talk about the various kind of layers. Like there are 4 layers, uh, uh, 4 driver layers. So we'll talk about the type 1 driver, type 2 driver, type 3 driver, and the most latest driver is that is called type 4 driver. Thanks for watching this particular video, and wait for next video to release. Thank you very much.